Hello and welcome to the Kayden Show, today's best country mix, and joining us right here today is Josh Powell-Fussell. Josh, how are we doing today?
Very well from Australia. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. G'day, USA.
That's right. So, why don't we get started by getting to know you a little and how you got started in music for those that may not know. Tell us your story.
Sure. Well, Kayden, I've been into music, I think, ever since I came out of my mother's womb, really. I remember my father used to play a cassette tape to me when we used to travel on long trips. And it's a little bit different, I think, than the USA. Here in Australia, there's quite a distance between towns and cities. So we
Mhm.
would listen to this cassette, and I just fell in love with it. And later on, I found out it was Dolly Parton's 1980 album, Nine to Five and Odd Jobs. Have you heard that one?
Yes, I have.
Fantastic. So that gave me that flair for music. I really, really loved it. And then at school, I was in many choirs and then got some solo roles in the choirs and things like that. And then moving forward, I joined our local country music club here in a place called Casino in New South Wales, Australia. And it was the 1990s. And we would practice once a month. We would go to the club and do country music. And then we could then enter talent quests through that country music club. And so I entered talent quests, and through the grace of God, I was able to get around about 40 trophies, I think, in those talent quests. And then when you won quite a few, you could go to a next level competition called Champion of Champions. And I got into that as well. And so that's how I sort of learned the art as such, Kayden.
That's amazing. So let's talk about your latest song, When Chad Morgan Came to Town. Tell us a little bit about that song.
Well, actually, that's the previous one to the latest one, but I would
Got
love
it.
to tell you about that. Yeah, I'd love to tell you about that because when I was on your show initially last year, we talked about my first single,
That's
Kiss
right.
Me Like That. Yeah, and so the follow up, When Chad Morgan Came to Town, it's a real story song. We have this gentleman who is in his 90s now here in Australia called Chad Morgan, and he's very
Okay.
country. Yeah, listen to him at some stage if you haven't already, Kayden, because he's very, very country. And he tells jokes and does comedic songs as well on stage. And I went to see him at a little tiny town called Benalbo a couple of years ago in a hotel or pub. And this pub is quite small and it's a small town, but everyone from the town came to see Chad Morgan that night and the pub was just, overflowing with people, Kayden. And so I decided that I'd like to write a song about it. So I wrote a song and I needed to send the song to a couple of mates who are songwriters. And they did a lot of work on it for me as well. And we came out of it with a song called When Chad Morgan Came to Town. And what it does is the song encapsulates that night. So it talks about how the pub was full with a bar crowd and lots of laughter, really loud, cheering at Benalbo for Chad Morgan. So it was my 90th birthday tribute to Chad because the year that I put that out, he was 90. So, well, actually, I put it out earlier this year to coincide with the Golden Guitar Awards at Tamworth. And at that stage, he was 91, but we wrote it when he was 90. So, Chad, that's a 90th birthday tribute to you, mate.
How cool is that? I love that. That's a great story behind that song for sure.
Oh, look, it is. And I think, as Dolly Parton says, country music tells real stories about real people. And I
Love it.
know you agree, Kayden. Yeah, because you love your country music very, very much, don't you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I agree with you. I think because of what country's turning into today, what you hear on the radio, it's not the same. It's not telling the stories.
Well, this is right. As part of my shows, I do a few cover songs. Well, I do quite a
Yep.
few cover songs because really I've only got three songs of my own produced at
Hmm.
this stage, and I hope to have a lot more. But, the songs that I do are things like George Jones and Tammy Wynette, Golden Ring. There's songs there's no songs like that today, you know.
Mm-mm.
Um, but I tell you what, I want to talk a little bit about you as well, mate, because you know you work very, very hard, and often, you know, we don't see the interviewer being interviewed. But I just want to acknowledge that you know I see everything that you do, and actually, you're winning a lot of awards at the moment, aren't you?
Yes, I sure am. Thanks for the little shout out. Appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome, and I'm so proud of you because I can see the work you put in, and I put, you know, I put a lot of work into my stuff, and it's nice to see things coming to fruition and you know being acknowledged, isn't it? Congratulations.
Thank you so much, and congrats on all your success and what you're doing with these amazing songs as well. So, people want to learn more about you, Josh. Where can they find you?
You can find me on Facebook. I've got a verified account. The account is under Joshua Fussell. My stage name is Josh Powell-Fussell, but to be verified on Facebook, you have to use your birth name. So if they just search Joshua Fussell and follow me there, they will see everything. And there's a lot of stuff coming up. I've now got an agent, which I'm really delighted about, and I've got a whole heap of Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton tributes coming up. I play the role of Kenny, and Danella Waters, as far as I'm concerned, she's Australia's best Dolly Parton impersonator. We've got a big show at the Capitol Theatre in Tamworth as part of the festival next year. But also, I'm very excited because mid next month, I'm performing at the street party for the Narromine Dolly Parton Festival. And Kayden, it's the only Dolly Parton festival in the world.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
It is. So we're doing that. And then next year, I've got 3 or 4 Kenny and Dolly tributes booked as well. So people that do follow me on Facebook, they will get to see videos of me doing these things. And I like to take everyone on that trip with me. So that's why I post a lot of videos on Facebook.
That's awesome. And is there anything that I forgot to mention that you'd like to mention before we go today?
Well, just quickly, my latest single actually is a song called Paint Me an Angel. And if you get a chance to listen to it, it's on Spotify and all good streaming platforms. And it's about a guy that's fairly lonely, but he's going to paint himself an angel in a painting. And the whole song goes through the process, and he talks about the fact that she'll have an alabaster smile and bright blue eyes. And that was actually written by my good mate Pixie Jenkins and a lady called Heather Field. And Pixie Jenkins is an absolute golden guitar winning legend in Australia and in Tamworth. He's a fiddle player and he's my producer and he produces all my songs. So that's the latest single, Paint Me an Angel. And if you guys get a chance to listen to that, please do because I think it's a great little song.
Absolutely, Josh Powell-Fussell. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on the Kayden Gordon Show, today's best country mix. Definitely appreciate your time and support and hope to have you on the show again real soon.
That would be absolutely lovely. And hello to all your listeners and g'day USA.